This episode of Riffs on Riffs is brought to you by DistroKid.
Experience a membership that backs what you're building with American Express Business Platinum. Enjoy complimentary access to the American Express Global Lounge Collection and a welcome offer of 200,000 points after you spend $20,000 on purchases on the card within your first 3 months of membership. American Express Business Platinum. There's nothing like it. Terms apply. Learn more at americanexpress.com/business-platinum.
Hello, and welcome to Riffs on Riffs. Toby, I gotta say, I'm feeling a little bit nostalgic today. I was just looking through some old photos back when you were in town. Remember we would get a pint at the local establishment before we would sit in the same room, and we would be able to record our podcast together. And then after said podcast, we would go have another beverage. And so, I was just looking at those pictures, and I was like, man, it's just so good to see Toby smile, even if it's just in a picture.
Oh boy, here we go. Here we go. I was under the assumption that we were going to take this story to another place. I've been bamboozled again. You would think after the last episode that I would know better. But apparently, as my mom said many a times, Toby, you're hard-headed. You don't learn fast enough. Yes, there was a lot of smiles. There were, don't cheapen the experience there, Joe. It was pints, not pints. Okay,
that's true. That is accurate. Yeah.
Well, to all of those members of Riff Nation, we welcome you to yet another installment of Riffs on Riffs, another episode. Today's artist is none other than Morgan Wallen, and the song is "Smile." Now, we are going to talk about the song.
Yeah.
Right. Largely about the song and the success he's had. I wanted, we can talk about other stuff, but, I want to kind of separate the person and the music.
And look, if we're being honest, Tobe, I think we literally have to do that with every single artist we cover. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of, especially if you go, some of the early artists where things weren't on social media, shenanigans were happening all over the place, and some really bad stuff. Sometimes we don't know the stories. Sometimes we know the stories, but again, they're rumors from 20, 30, 50 years ago. So I think, unfortunately, that's the case with art a lot of times, is we have to separate the art from sometimes the person or people who create the art. It's impossible to do realistically, but it's something we always have to kind of keep in mind.
And, we're constantly looking for music that the masses are talking about, right?
Yep,
or they're going to be talking about. And so that's why that's why this artist was picked. And that's why any of the artists, honestly, that we're talking about, at least as of late, have been picked because, hey, this song is charting high. We're going to talk about it. And I don't even think the song was charting as high as it is right now when we had initially picked it. And I just saw is number 27 on the Billboard. So,
and it's climbing because as of today, it's just been released, I think, like a week ago. So yeah, I'm sure that probably by the time this is released, this thing will be top 10, making a run, all the stuff,
all the things. I just saw the artist's name and I saw the song. Right, it's like, hey, this song is charting. Check it out. I go to it and I was pleasantly surprised by the song that I heard. I really enjoy the song. There's a couple things that really kind of stand out for me. One is I think he has a really, really good voice. I think his voice is nice. I think it's a well-controlled voice. The song has no drums at all. And I think that is different for this time period. It is gutsy. And it's a song that I feel the content of the song is going to have to be good enough to carry it because it won't be the beat that people are going to be following along with. And so that brings me to the content of the song, which I thought was really well done. I thought it was like a lot of country songs out there, it's a really good story. I thought, so those are like my initial thoughts. And I've, played it over and over and over again, just trying to pinpoint, the different aspects and the parts that I really, really like. I think when I looked into, well, I'm not even letting you talk, Joe. That's horrible. Go ahead. I want to hear. I want to hear your opinions. What are you thinking?
My opinions. I agree. I think it's, and you're right. It's sort of akin to when Prince back in the day put out When Doves Cry and decided, hey, we're not going to have a bass line. When you're taking something that is traditionally in pop music from an instrumental standpoint and saying, you know what, we're just going to forsake it completely. It is a bold move. And then when you can pull that off and have a successful and engaging pop song, it means you're really doing something right. So I don't have any issue with this guy's voice. I think it's fine. I don't particularly think it's like amazing or fantastic. I went back and listened to a lot more of his catalog, and I was like, yeah, he kind of fits right in that wheelhouse of just kind of standard country pop fare for today's age. I really do like the lyrics. I think he's really telling, to your point, a kind of a poetic story, and you can really immerse yourself in that scene. Like, we've all been in that place where maybe you're struggling a little bit in a relationship, or things just aren't kind of jiving the way maybe they once did. And all of a sudden you see your girl popping over her picture. She puts on that big wide smile and you're like, oh yeah, I remember that. That was nice. I miss that. It's good to see it. So yeah, totally agree. There's a beautiful kind of, I don't know if message is the right word, but a vibe in this song.
I think he did what a lot of other songwriters wish they could do, and that is basically tell a complete story where you can literally see it in your head. Hey, your friend at the bar grabbed the bartender to take a picture, and as they said, the countdown, you smiled, and I haven't seen you that happy in a long time. Mm-hmm. It was just, I've been there. I think we've all been there in relationships. Yep. That's what I'm trying to say, is like, we've all been there. It's like, man, I've been with someone that I felt wasn't as into me as we were before. And I've been on both sides of that discussion. So I thought that was both sides of that scenario, I should say. So I thought that was pretty poignant. And as far as yours, is you saying he's essentially a pop music factory, right? And you like, this dude is very, very, very successful. If he can manage to stay out of his own way, he should have an even more fantastic career. I mean, as popular as he is right now, as well known, as successful as he is right now, he could literally have it all if he could just stay out of his way. Why do I say that? I'm so glad that you asked. This dude... His debut album was #1 on the Billboard charts. His second album, which is called Dangerous, the double album. Okay, let's stop right there. A double album for a country singer. I have never seen a double album for a country singer.
I think, actually, maybe not in recent memory. I kind of feel like that was the thing back in the day, but
it makes people of our age, we're thinking Tupac, we're thinking like back in those days where that's what a lot of MCs were doing, right? They're coming out, or a lot of artists for that matter, were coming out with double. The first one I can think of off the top wasn't Guns N' Roses. Didn't they have a double album?
Oh, Use Your Illusion 1 and 2, which was epic, and everybody, huge.
Right, huge. So but we're talking 2021 when he released his second album. And it's the only country album to that point that spent the first 7 weeks at #1. I mean, he had 30 songs on this album alone, 1 hour and 37 minutes. Okay, I really want to break that down. 1 hour and 37 minutes.
Are you going to math on me, Toby?
No, look, I'm going to math you for a little bit here, because I thought this part was amazing. I'm like, dude, you had a lot to say. That's #1. You had a lot to say. Either you don't have a gatekeeper at all, like there is no gatekeeper to tell you, hey, don't put that song on here, or you had a whole lot more songs and you're like, look, at least 25% of all the songs I've written are going to get on this project. And this is what you came with. 30 songs. 30 songs. And Joe, what makes it even worse, this dude said, you know what? I see my 1 hour and 37 minutes, and I'm going to make the next album 1 hour and 52 minutes. Because his third album, One Thing at a Time, which was released in 2023, made you think that this dude was the most hardworking during the whole COVID period. Because this dude had 36 songs on that album.
Well, it kept him out of bars, which seems like a good idea.
Dude, look, his albums shouldn't be on CD. They should come out on flash drives. Dude needs a terabyte.
Thank God we have the cloud now.
My
Toby,
God.
Yeah, and it makes me wonder, how much of that is... I mean, all of Nashville is a hit factory. You're never working in isolation, typically. There are so many talented people in that city, and session cats and songwriters that, I mean, you walk down the street, you're going to stumble over somebody who's incredibly talented every 5 feet. So I'm just curious how much of that is, to your point, I'm sitting alone in COVID isolation, and I'm just going to pull out a pen and my guitar and start going. But still, that's pretty prolific from an output standpoint.
Oh my God.
And it also makes me wonder, because I have not gone back and listened to that double album or the 1 hour and 52 minutes or whatever. How many of them are, I'm sure they're all fine.
Yeah.
But how many of them are,
Yeah,
how many are good?
How many are good? I'm so glad that you asked that question, Joe. I'm so glad that you asked that question. Because let me hit you with some facts. 36 songs on the third album, entitled One Thing at a Time, and all 36 songs entered the Billboard Top 100.
Stop it.
I'm not lying.
Stop it.
All 36 songs. Listen, people, I know a lot of people. I can't, I don't have 36 friends though. I mean, this is 36 is a lot. That's a lot. Every damn song.
Come on. See, okay, this is all right. I'm going to go on.
Listen,
I have thoughts on this, Toby.
Please, I want to hear them.
One,
I can't
which
read your
is-
mind. I'm wearing an X-Men shirt, but I am not Professor X. I need you to tell me what
Yeah.
you're thinking. Hit me.
Yeah. There's no way that all 36 are worthy of the Billboard 100. I'm just going to say that right now. If they are, this man should be canonized as a saint somewhere and the greatest songwriter of all time, which I'm going to go on record now and saying that's not true. So what I think happens is there's an algorithm thing going on. I think, again, and I'm speaking completely ignorant on this because I've not listened to it, but my guess is that all 36 songs sound so similar that it's just like back in the day, you just pop on the album or Spotify, whatever, and you just let it roll. And then Spotify is like, cool, we've got, 1 million streams, 5 million streams, whatever of each track on this album, because people like kind of the same vanilla treatment to whatever. And again, I might be totally wrong because I'm speaking out of turn here. I've not listened to this stuff. Maybe it's all amazing, but I doubt it.
I totally hear your point. And I guess let me double down on one part that you said, you doubt that all those are, Billboard worthy. Hey, dude, in my opinion, not all songs on the top 100 anyway are Billboard worthy.
That is true.
In my opinion. And again,
remember when the chicken
it's
song was on the
subjective.
Billboard 100, Toby? So, there's clearly some flaws in the system.
Sure. So with that being said, what an incredible feat, to do that. I mean,
Yeah.
remember when when she owned the top 10 positions, I was like, it doesn't matter whether I like the Taylor song or not. That's an incredible feat. And for you to come out with an album and have a 36 song album that literally lasts, I could literally drive from here to Toledo and not be done with
And not
said
repeat.
album.
Yeah.
Not be done with said album by the time I get there. I mean, that's doing something. That
It's
is a
doing
lot.
something. And whatever he has figured out, I guess kudos. And I part of me is just like, first of all, what is the secret? Because if I can just figure out how to get one song on the top 100, I don't need 36. We don't need 36. But if we got one, we'd be real happy. So what is going? And is it? He got his start back in. I forget, it was The Voice or one of those shows, and that automatically kind of bakes in an audience. He's a young cat. He's 31 now. He's attractive dude. All of that. Although the mullet era was maybe. I mean, I could speak to this. I also had a mullet era. It was never good. So it's just not a hairstyle that ages well. I don't care what age you are or what decade it is. But there's some criteria that he kind of checked the boxes along the way. And clearly he's got talent. Like, I mean, what I've heard is good pop country songwriting. So To your point, his voice is. I kind of feel like I sound like I'm down on this guy. I'm not at all. But I also haven't heard anything that just kind of, when you hear a new artist that maybe you're not familiar with, and truth be told, I haven't listened to country probably consistently in about a decade, other than, some of the new stuff that comes out from maybe a Stapleton or people that kind of cross genres. So even though I don't listen to country a lot, anytime I hear a new artist kind of in any genre, when something sounds a little bit different, when something is taking a risk somewhere or lyrically interesting, which the song is lyrically interesting, or sonically it's just having a different imprint than maybe some of the other stuff on pop radio, that's what's really fascinating, interesting to me. When I listen to what the 20 or so songs that I listened to in his catalog, I was like, yeah, these are all, you can literally pick. You can hum the chorus coming up before it even gets there, right? Like, the cadence, like there's no surprises. And I think there's such a familiarity to it that must be really satisfying and gratifying to people, that it's just like, okay, I know what I'm getting. And this just, thank you. Thank you. It makes me happy. And this is what puts me in my feels, great.
He definitely has something figured out. You said you wish he would tell us. Well, Joe, that's why they call it a secret. And he won't be sharing. But it is interesting to think about, how this dude started. He was a contestant on the show The Voice. I want to say it was the 6th season, initially picked by Usher's team. And then Adam Levine took him. And he was beaten in the playoffs, I guess. The sing-offs, the playoffs.
Playoffs?
Yeah.
We're talking about playoffs?
But shortly thereafter, this dude was signed and, was putting in some work. And it looks like it seemed like he's just connected with a lot of people after that. That was a vehicle to kind of get him to connect with people. And since he is a writer, and has no problem writing for other groups like Florida, Georgia Line, and, other groups like that, I feel like it just means that he's good at politicking in some way, shape, or form, or has a good staff. They put him in a position. But with that all being said, the song is lyrically interesting. And I do, I want to give him props for that. And, the one thing I'll say is this, we were just talking about artists that start off one way. They're considered lyrically interesting. And then as time and as fame kind of, takes them to the next level, right? Changes their zip code, changes their VIN number, right?
Yeah.
Their home, all that kind of stuff, that they lose something. And I think this guy has figured it out where, like you said, may not be anything groundbreaking, but at the same time, at least in my opinion, lyrically interesting enough that the masses like it. And enough to put all 36 damn songs to land in a Billboard Hot 100. I mean, it's crazy. That's insane.
And it sounds like people are paying attention to what seems like a pretty distinct shift in how he's moving through the world, right? So he cut his hair. He's got a song like this coming out. If you go watch the video and then you read the comments from everybody, they're saying, hey buddy, are you okay? Like, you're clearly in your feels. It sounds like you're going through something. If these are autobiographical, if these are really personal lyrics, then should we be worried about you? We're a little, what's going on over there? And maybe this is all just a part of a maturation process and growing up and kind of going through some stuff, whether that's self-inflicted or not, and just, hey, I'm going to be intentional about not only what I'm writing, but how I'm presenting to the world and where I'm taking my music next. And I think even the video speaks to that, right? Because, you watch the video and it's somebody on the show saying, hey, you're going to go do this song. And he gets on there and he's like, and he just starts playing this song. And everybody's like, what is going on here? So it seems like there's a real intentional nod to, I'm going on a different path. And I hope you all come along with me, but this is where I'm at right now.
I thought that the video was going to follow this story that he is singing about a little bit more. I was very, very disappointed with the video. I thought that was a completely missed opportunity. And it seemed that and you can't tell me it was money that that prevented them from doing it, or time, because
Sure.
we're not talking about aliens. We're not talking about
It's some people in a bar and smiling, and
tornado coming down and nothing like that. This was completely doable. In fact, they did more with the video that they did, called for more than the story actually even required. The song even required. I was very disappointed with that because I thought that in my head the video was just different. I wanted to see that on the video, and I generally don't. I rarely complain about videos, but I'm gonna complain about this one because to me this was a layup. And that's all. It's literally all you had to do was have a picture of you and said female.
Sure.
I mean, what are we doing? I mean, the girl was right there.
This is an interesting question, Toby, because I can argue both sides of this. You've told a beautiful story. All you have to do is match the visuals to the story, make it visually compelling and meaningful in that way. Done. We're out. However, I don't know if you remember our last episode where I came in hot, or one of our episodes, saying "Die with a Smile" is a horrendous video. Right. And you were like, I do love it.
Still
right?
love it.
So I'm wondering, because some people would say, oh, it's a cop-out. You didn't do anything artistic and interesting by basically just giving the visuals to the story you're telling in the song, versus what he did in this video, which is, I'm going a layer deeper. Because the message is still there. He's clearly being pensive and thoughtful and intentional about, I'm going to do this song because this is where I'm at right now, even though the audience is clamoring for this. I don't know. I think you can kind of argue both sides. Neither side is wrong. But in general, if you have a video, are you obligated to tell the story of said song?
You're obligated to do whatever the heck you want. It's your video.
Right.
Ultimately, it's your video. And I think it's a really good point. If it were me, right now, obviously it ain't me. But if it were me, I just would have done a little bit different. I mean, I'm not even talking about, we talk about a picture, right? We're literally talking about a picture. I would have loved to have seen them try to take said picture with this girl and him looking at a Polaroid of the picture. I don't need to see the picture. I just need to see that said picture was taken. I think that just would have been a nice touch. I mean, instead, we just have this dude going back to his dressing room after the set, and she's not there anymore. Like, well, I mean, dude, are you surprised? I mean, she hasn't smiled in forever.
right. What do you think was going to happen? Come on. And you just sang a song about how things aren't going so great. So she's like, oh, you're right. I'm out.
Yeah. I mean, well, and here's the thing. Let's get deep with this. Let's get deep.
Okay, let's go. Right?
In the second verse, he says, hey, they say a picture's worth 1,000 words, but you ain't said one since you woke up. All right. Silly me thinking we could make it work. Can you blame me for getting my hopes up? Okay. Love all of that. I have no complaints. Here are my thoughts. Again on said video. You haven't smiled a while. I'm going to a very important show. It's going to be filmed. And you're telling me that you have enough gumption, enough like for me, enough caring for me to actually accompany me to the show. And then when I get off said stage, you're not in the dressing room? Where did you go? And look, this is where Uber goes all bad. This is terrible. What are we talking about? You came with me. You should leave with me. What are we doing? That part's just crazy to me.
Yeah, and it looks like she gets up halfway through and she's making her way to the exit. And
well, no, not even to the exit. She got up, walked through the crowd, could see him on stage, and then left in the middle of said performance. He goes back to dressing room, waiting for her, right? And she's not there. I have problems with that, man. I think that's just, it's rude.
Sounds like you have problems with her.
I do. It's rude, Joe. It's rude.
Well, okay. This brings up another important question. Should she have dumped him before the performance? Because clearly this was not a game time decision.
Listen, there are rules. There are rules. There's criteria.
She didn't do it via text, Toby. At least she showed up.
Dude. I mean,
she didn't leave a note in the dressing room scrawled in lipstick on the mirror.
Look, no, Joe, it's even worse. Let me say, this is even worse. If you go to the end of the video, they do the countdown for New Year's, right?
Yeah, that's true. That's
Dude,
right. I forgot about that. That's
Who are you kissing when the ball drops?
Yeah, she
Where are
probably went
you
back and
at?
found that bartender and was
Or
like,
the
you know
Uber
what?
driver. For
Or
all
the
we
Uber
know, she's
driver.
headed somewhere else. I'm just saying, I got problems with this. To me, that's just crazy. That's just crazy. Look, if I don't know, man, you could have been at home. I mean, good golly. I
Yeah,
just,
suck it
to me,
up for
it
one
sucks.
night, right? But I guess when you're done, you're done. And if she's been not smiling for a while,
You couldn't have figured that out on the 30th? You could you you couldn't have figured
there's
that
never
out
a
on
good
the
time,
30th?
Toby. They were
Oh
doing
my
family
God.
stuff, like
To
it's the
me,
holidays. Come on,
that's just as bad as like getting in arguments on Valentine's Day.
right?
Like, look, whatever it is. Listen, to the audience, both men and women, whatever it is, we don't need
Yeah,
to argue on Valentine's Day. Valentine's Day, birthdays,
yeah. Holidays in general,
how
just table
just
it.
stop it. Just yeah, we'll talk about it later.
Yeah,
Everything's fine.
yeah.
Everything's fine. Everything's fine.
Just pull
Just
out the
keep
memes.
swimming.
This is fun. Just keep swimming. We're
Just
good.
keep swimming. What are we talking about?
This episode of Riffs on Riffs is brought to you by DistroKid, your ultimate partner for taking your music to the next level.
With DistroKid, uploading your songs or albums to online stores and streaming platforms like Spotify, Apple Music, and YouTube Music is easier than ever. Plus, you can easily pay your collaborators with splits and send large files securely to anyone with Instant Share.
And guess what else? You can get a YouTube official artist channel for free via DistroKid. You can send credits to stores, and you can use Hyperfollow to promote your release.
DistroKid has everything you need to succeed in the digital music landscape.
But that's not all. DistroKid now offers a convenient mobile experience with the DistroKid app, available on iOS and Android.
With the app, you can manage your releases, track your streaming stats, and even withdraw your earnings, all from the palm of your hand. And for the artists looking to perfect their sound, there's Mixia. With Mixia, you can put the finishing touches on your tracks in minutes, ensuring they sound polished and professional every time.
And if you need to share large files securely with collaborators, producers, or playlist curators, look no further than Instant Share. It's free to send up to 1 gigabyte of files, and your music will stream at the highest quality, making the best impression possible.
So why wait? Elevate your music career today with DistroKid and unlock a world of possibilities.
Riffs on Riffs listeners get 30% off their first year at DistroKid by going to distrokid.com/VIP/riffsonriffs.
Are you a forward thinker? Then you need an HR and finance platform that thinks like you do. Workday is the AI platform that helps propel your organization, your workforce, and your industry into the future. Workday, moving business forever forward.
Don't miss a special offer on November 19th from Botox Cosmetic on Botulinum Toxin A, the one and only product of its kind FDA approved for over 20 years. Buy one $50 gift card and get one free while supplies last. Terms and conditions apply. For prescribing information and box warning, visit BotoxCosmetic.com or call 877-351-0300.
So he has mentioned some of his influences. He's mentioned Eric Church as being one of his, probably that era of, I'm guessing this is 10, 15 years ago, is the last time that I actually listened to country somewhat regularly. Eric Church and Brad Paisley and Keith Urban, Jamie Johnson, some of those cats. And it just reminds me, pun intended, of that Brad Paisley song, that duet he does with Carrie Underwood, Remind Me. And I think he should have taken this approach with this girl. Hey, let's have a conversation. You remember when we used to do all of these things and feel good together and have these moments? Let's work on that together. Instead, he was like, oh, man, yeah, that's a cool picture. Well, clearly you're miserable. I'm out. She's out, right? It's no good. It's no good, Toby.
Yeah,
We got to
there's
remind.
that.
So that's the other public service announcement to everybody in a relationship. Take the time to reset and go back to the good stuff and say, what was the good stuff that we even were into once upon a time, and how do we rekindle that and get back to that?
Oh man, listen, I know some of my son's friends, they are really picky eaters. They're really, really picky eaters, right? They literally is like one thing that they eat.
Can I pause you for a second there?
Yeah.
Because this is a new phenomenon to me, because I feel like I look around and I see these generations coming up, and I hear this all the time. Like the kids growing up saying, I'm only eating chicken fingers. And you imagine if we had tried to pull that back in the day? Could you imagine if we had said that?
Come on.
It was like,
I wouldn't be here today.
I know you hate peas. Right.
Wouldn't be here today.
I don't know. So it's just mind-boggling to me that way, because I'm like,
it is our fault though, Joe. It is our fault.
It is our fault. It is 100%. It is a yes. It's not the kids' fault. No. If they get away with it, then that's on us.
The rule in my household, the rule in my parents' household was this: hey, if you don't like what mom made, actually, this is my rule. If you don't like what mom made, you can make yourself a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. In my mom's house, right, when mom and dad were the ones running the show, they're like, if you don't like what mom made, then you don't eat. And that was a wrap. Like, well,
yeah. If you're hungry enough, that food, whatever it is, will be.
I mean, fit the bill. And there weren't going to be no sneaking to the kitchen either. It wasn't going to be no sneaking. Dad was right there.
Oh yeah.
Oh no, yeah. you too good for this. You too good for this. Remember, you don't like this.
Or it was like, oh, you're not hungry. You don't like this. Cool. We'll put it in the fridge. When you get hungry enough, it'll be here. You can come back and have it.
Right. And the reason why I bring that
up, back to your story. Go ahead.
The reason why I bring that up is that you have a lot of folks that these kids don't know what other foods are out there. They have no idea about the other foods, and just like a little bit of exploration, expanding their palate. And it's like, oh, there's other stuff that is just as good. Now, I bring this all to say this in this relationship thing. Hey, because he has a line in here, it took me right back to how it used to be. Baby, seeing us like this is still a little bittersweet. And it's like, he is constantly living on the best times that he had with this woman, instead of thinking like, you know what, if I part ways with her right now, there's a good chance. I'm not saying stop. I'm saying obviously try to repair the relationship, but if you can't, there's a good chance there's somebody else that's out there that could be your person, right? That could be the one, and that could give you that same type of feeling that you used to have. And I just feel like that just needs to be highlighted, underlined, instead of sitting there suffering in silence, instead of taking a girl to a show and then her leaving you on New Year's Day. Right.
Right. You're kind of saying yourself.
That.
I think the other piece of that is, if it's truly not the right relationship, it's not the right relationship for them either. So you're holding yourself back and you're holding the other person back. And it's obviously not your responsibility you're not responsible for the other party, but if it's true, it's true. And it's true for both people. So put in the work, see if you can make it work, because all relationships are hard. But if not, then okay, it is what it is.
Let's riff on this just for a second, because I know you talk to a lot of CEOs in your job, with your business. And I know that there's automatically an issue, and you tell me if I'm wrong, but I know there's automatically an issue if I'm talking to a business owner and I ask them what their goal is and they can't tell me what their goal is. That's an automatic problem, right? Or if they have a staff member that is not performing up to what expectations, but they can't tell me necessarily where their line in the sand is. Like, hey, at this point, we are done. We are parting ways. It's not personal. It's just business. So in the same way, I think relationships kind of got to be around in that same chair. Like, hey, what's your breaking point? If you're not happy now, you're going to give it a shot. You're going to go counseling. You're going to do whatever. And we're going to take a temperature check in March. Right? And if you're still not happy then maybe it's time to do, steps 2, 3, 4, and 5,
Right.
I don't know. That's my thought. Not that I do these things, right? Not that I always follow my own advice, but I'm just saying.
Well, right. Yeah. It's always harder when you're in it. And I think that's true in business and relationships, because people are complicated. But to your point, I think it is, generally speaking, I'm going to speak in broad strokes here. And I know this is not in any way, shape, we're not going to talk about business, but the overlap is, hey, said CEO or leader is really frustrated with the performance of an employee or the performance of the organization or whatever. And so the first question is, well, cool, what kind of clarity do you have around roles and responsibilities, who's doing what, how are you tapping into intrinsic motivation so that people can get excited? Like, there's just some hardcore, simple things that are like, and then you ask these questions and you get a blank stare like, oh, yeah, we don't have that, or we don't do, and I'm like, well, what do you think is going to happen? Right? So you're just going to roll up. You haven't been clear with anybody whatsoever. And then you're like, you're doing a bad job. I'm going to put you on a PIP. Well, that's not real fair. And so I think the same thing holds true in relationships. Mm-hmm. And it's really, really hard when you get into a personal relationship because it's like, well, these are hard things to say out loud. Hey, I need this. I want to be really clear about this. And then you see the response on their face of like, and then all of a sudden you're like, whoa, I should backpedal that or soft sell that, whatever. And it's just, people are just complicated and we're difficult to work with, all of us. But I always think clarity is such a big, before you call anything quits, maybe you should actually have a conversation around like, are we clear about where we're both at and where we're headed and what we want? It sounds super simple, but I don't know. I suck at it. And I think humans in general suck at it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, no one's there. There's always areas of improvement, right? And there's always room for improvement, I should say, in that category. Because sometimes it's easier to communicate about certain things than it is for others. But regardless, I think if we're going back to this song, that would be my next thing. Like, hey, have you talked to her? Like, are you asking her questions? Is she not responding? Because, just we don't know if she left the facility in the video, right? She could have just, maybe she's
just outside grabbing a smoke, Tobe.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. You're jumping into Ubers and all of that just because she's not in the dressing room.
You wrote a song because
maybe
she wanted to
got
smoke.
him some flowers because she was like super excited. Like, we don't know. Don't assume the worst. Yeah. All right. Here's the last bit of knowledge I'm going to drop. So there's this thing called appreciative inquiry. It's based on positive psychology, all of that. But the idea is essentially you look at the things that were really working well in order to apply them to specific challenges. So in this case, he's looking at a picture and he's like, oh, I love that smile. I miss that smile. How about you pull out that picture and you go to her and say, man, I miss this. Do you remember when we used to have this? What was going on in our relationship when you were this happy? And how do we bring more of that back into the present? Like, imagine the power of what that conversation could be. And it still might be the same result. It still might be like, I don't think we're going to get back there. This X, Y, and Z was going on. It's totally different now, and we're never going to rekindle that. Or it could be, you know what, you're right, I forgot about that. But hey, these things started to slip on my end, on your end. Let's have a conversation about it. Let's see if we can build off of that. So I think he could have used that a little appreciative inquiry in this song. Just pull out the picture and have a positive conversation.
And I think before he shows her the picture, I think it's also important for him to remember what he was like at that time. Because I think a lot of times it's just, we're looking at the other person like, man, it's their fault. But, maybe the situation's changed. Hey, were you employed then and unemployed now? Or vice versa. Hey, I wasn't employed then. That means I could put all my time into this. And now I am employed in my job, and I don't have a work home life balance or whatnot.
Yeah.
So it goes both ways. I think I always tend to, and this was a lesson I learned early on. I try to look at what I'm doing first in business and in relationships. Hey, what am I doing to make the situation better, or what am I doing to make it worse? And that's me. That's 50-year-old me talking. That's what I've learned, because I've been burned plenty of times by saying, hey, you, and I find out like, oh, dang, my bad. You right.
Actually, it was me.
That was me. That's all on me.
Yeah.
My bad.
Well, and you've done, you and I have talked over the years. I think your idea of having relationship checkups, just having intentional, put a time on the calendar and being like, how are we doing? And literally carve it out from time, space, environment, all of that, and just make it not pressured and not laced with. Don't do it when you're in the midst of one of those periods when you're on each other's last nerves and all of that. But pick those times and spaces where you can have meaningful dialogue just as a check-in. That's some wisdom I learned from Toby.
I would say this. I've told, because I'm in sales, and I can't tell you how many dudes, in men and women, are in relationship chaos that are actually involved with sales. It happens all the time. And I say, hey, let me guess, right? Johnny's having a problem with his girl. Let me guess, Johnny, you've used up all of your words at work and you have nothing left when you get home. Yeah, how did you know? Like, I've been there, dude. I've absolutely been there. And say, let me, so Johnny, you run your team. Let me also make another assumption. You guys do team building exercises. Yeah, we do all the time. We do. Oh, okay. Do you have any relationship building exercises that you do? We call those date nights. Have you done that?
Right. Yeah.
Right. Like, no, I haven't even. Well, dude, if you minded your relationship like you mind your business, you would be in the black and not in the red. Right.
Exactly. Yeah.
So it's those things. It's and it sounds cold, but I think if you treat it like a business, man, it can be a better thing for you. It can be. Not the end all be all, but still.
Totally agree. All right, let's get this back to country music. Do you listen to country ever? And if so, are there artists that you resonate with?
I've got some friends that live out west, and whenever we used to get together at work seminars, these guys listen to country, and I'd have to I'm stuck in the car listening to country with them, and it's like, man, this ain't half bad. And I remember I also used to work in a country bar, right? So for a period of time.
Right.
So I have an appreciation because it was literally like I've been force fed it for years. So yeah, I mean, the song's good. I mean,
exactly.
That's it.
And anymore, the only thing that makes it country is there might be a little drawl to the singer, but otherwise it's just a pop song. So
that's it.
And truthfully, with the crossover between trap and country and pop, it's like we're getting darn close to genreless music, which in some ways is cool and in some ways feels very watered down and uninteresting depending on who's pulling it off. So like anything else, some people are doing it really well and some people are like, we're catering to the masses and here's some vanilla for you.
You mentioned Eric Church. This to your point, you mentioned Eric Church being one of his inspirations. It's also been listed that Lil Wayne was his inspiration as well, right? So if you put all that in the mix, it's like, okay, this is what you get, especially when music is as accessible as it is right now. A kid from Boise, he has the same access as a kid living in the Bronx or the New Orleans or LA. It doesn't matter now. Everything's online.
Yeah.
So, you have that to think about.
Which I think also leads to discovery and random influences coming. So even if I'm like, I'm going to be a country artist, I'm still ingesting all of these different things because I have access like I didn't back in the day. And so it's just going to creep out.
Well, you have artists like her, right? Her, who is obviously influenced by Prince. But she doesn't. She does a lot more. I would say R&B. I'm not calling, and I wouldn't call Prince an R&B artist. I wouldn't call him an R&B artist. I would call him an artist or the artist, right?
I wouldn't even call him Prince, depending on the
depending on the time period. When you're talking about what year did the album come out? Yeah. So, but you see how, like you said, like the genres have influenced these newer artists, right? That music has influenced new artists in their particular, genre or type of music they're coming out with. So you have that.
Yeah, I think the other interesting thing is, just like every artist, you can hear the influences. So I was listening to his track last night, and I was like, this is basically like the same melody and vibe as like Eric Church's 16. So like you can kind of overlap these things and be like, oh, okay, I totally hear your influence coming through. The other thing that I think is great about country in general is the quality of musicianship, even if it's stripped down or whatever. I mean, all of those session cats are just so talented. Oh, yeah. I don't know if it was that song or a different one, but I was just listening, and then they dropped in this like classical guitar solo, like a nylon. I was like, dang, whoever playing that is real good. And it fits the song and it just sits in the pocket nicely, but there's just definitely a technical skill to what's being played. I'm guessing, I'm almost positive it was off the cuff. Like, yeah, we gotta play something real quick. Let's just throw this in. Mm-hmm. I think that's what you get with Nashville, which is kind of nice, is there's so many great songwriters and musicians just in that town that you show up for a session, it's gonna, at the very least, it's gonna sound great.
Did I ever tell you about the time I was in Tennessee? I'm in Tennessee for a conference, and we had to get something to eat. So it's a barbecue place, and we're there. And a waiter comes up to our table, and he said, "Hey, can I help get you something to drink?" And they said, "Hey, now come up to stage. We have da 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 da." And he's like, "Okay, hey guys, I'll be right back. I gotta get on stage and sing." I'm like, "You're singing? You go?" And he went up on stage and proceeded to just wow me with his voice, and then come over to. I said, "Dude, we should be buying you a meal at this point. As good of a job as you just did." Yeah, Tennessee's got so much talent there. It is, you could literally throw a rock and hit somebody who can play, who can sing, both. I'm
going to give a little plug. So there's an artist by the name of Moose Miller, who I happen to, there's a random connection there. And so it was just one of those people I never would have heard before. And then somebody was like, "Oh, check this guy out." And I was like, there's a song, the track that I heard is probably a year or two old now, if not older. It's called "Where the Wild Things Are." And I was like, that's a great track. And I think that he's living in Nashville right now. I've never met this guy, so I'm not like, but it's just interesting to kind of be on the like far periphery of this and hear kind of how artists get developed. It's always a crapshoot, who do you know? It's like anything else in the industry. And so, I have no idea if this dude is going to blow up at some point. He's probably one of thousands, if not more, that has the talent to be able to do that. And then it's just, how does this all work within the system, the algorithms, and getting 36 songs in the top 100 off your album? And to me, that's where the beast of the industry kind of holds a large sway over everything.
Oh, for sure.
And if anybody wants to put us as cogs in the machine, then just let me know. We'll work the system. We'll collaborate.
Damn straight. We'll figure it out. We'll be all right. We'll definitely figure it out. So, well, do you have anything else that you wanted to add to?
I don't. I think obviously we're again staying away from some of the news articles related to Morgan, which fine, because this is a music pod. So. Yeah, I think I'm actually curious when his new album drops, if it has a similar vibe to Smile, if it has more of a introspective kind of down-tempo, not a party record or whatever, but more of a shift in, even if it's just for an album, like, hey, this is what I need to do right now. This is where I'm at in my life. I think that'd be really interesting. So I'm curious when this comes out.
I'm curious to see how long the damn album's going to be. That's what I'm curious about.
It's going to be 57 songs, 4.5 hours.
I want to see, because if I'm him, I'm trying to like use everything that I have in the pantry, right? So if we got 2 hours worth of music, then dude, if you don't make a movie out of this and just do like every song should be a scene in the movie, that I don't know, what else we could do. Chris Brown did that a couple years ago. Not every track on the album, but it felt like every track on the album he had a video for, and it told a story. And I was like, this is amazing. This is amazing. This is so cool. I mean, the same dancers, throughout I was like, this is so cool.
Oh, like we've talked about it offline, but that whole Jungle album and the videos. I still cue that up on a regular basis.
Jungle.
All right. This is what I would tell Morgan to do though. Like, you and I are hoopers. I've had plenty of heat checks. So if you've got 36 of your songs are on the top 100, man, that is prime heat check right there. I'm putting out 67 songs and seeing if I can do that. Because even if only half of them do, that's still a pretty good percentage.
I'm putting out you're going to come out with an anthology. Like, no one's heard this, right? Some music. It's new music, but it's an anthology automatically. Jeez.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah. Like you said, it is. That's one thing I love about doing this pod, is that it exposes me to new things. Actually makes me, it's kind of like fantasy football, right? Like, I could care less about these other teams unless they are playing my Browns, right?
Right.
But on any given Sunday, I might need that dude. So So that's how I look at some of this music. Okay, if this is going to be a more introspective album, if this album is going to be more like less party, more introspective, more about relationships, and be, okay, a little bit more vulnerable. Hey, let's do it. Let's see it. Because that, and I do. You and I both know that. Hey, your 30s are different than your 20s.
Oh, yeah,
they're different than your 20s. And he's 31 right now.
Yeah, things are hitting him different.
Look, Morgan, if you're writing right now, bro. If you're writing right now, okay, song number 50. I know you're there. Yeah, hold your head up. Hold your head up. Let's find out what happened to that girl that left you at the studio. That's what I want to know.
Call Uber, see what the latest pickup around the studio was. Maybe you can track it down.
Oh, boy.
All right. Well, with that, I think hopefully we were able to give the listeners a smile or two throughout the course of this one. Now we need to hit them with all of the stuff, right? Like go find us on the socials and whatever. So I'm going to leave that one to you, Tobe.
Hey, if you are interested in following us, you can go to riffsonriffs.com. You can find us on Facebook at Riffs on Riffs. You can also find us on Instagram, on IG, Riffs on Riffs.
And a new feature that we just launched recently is we're doing a little bit of Riffs After Dark. And so that's on our, actually there's a Riffs on Riffs YouTube channel. There's not a ton of content yet, but we're going to keep adding to it. And we just released our first episode yesterday, which is more of this, but you get to see video of Toby and I talking to each other. And we open up the topics to whatever we feel like riffing about that day. So it's oftentimes music, sometimes not music at all. And it's just an opportunity to connect with us and leave some comments and engage with us in a different way. So hopefully you enjoy that as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And even if you don't, we do. So there you have it.
And you control us. It's fine. You can say whatever you want. That's the joy of social.
So, well, hey, with that, we say peace. Thank you so much for listening. Keep listening. Huzzah.
Mint is still $15 a month for premium wireless. And if you haven't made the switch yet, here are 15 reasons why you should. 1, it's $15 a month. 2, seriously, it's $15 a month. 3, no big contracts. 4, I use it. 5, my mom uses it. Are you playing me off? That's what's happening, right? Okay, give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, $15 per month equivalent required. New customer offer first 3 months only, then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See mintmobile.com.